Hi everyone. Today we're going to be going over the baking a vegan chocolate cake activity. So for this activity, you're going to be doing ratios and trying to figure out the amount of ingredients for making a cake. So we're starting off by telling them that there are 5 ingredients, and they have to brainstorm with you what the remaining 7 would need to be. So those remaining 7 are, you can see them on the side, or you can look on the next page. And you can see that the 7 we've chosen for the hints are applesauce, flour, almond milk, oil, sugar, water. You can, go over, ask each student to try and guess one. And obviously some ingredients can be replaced. For example, you have agave for sugar, or coconut milk for regular milk, or almond flour for flour. And then we're going to use this picture to try and figure out how much of each recipe of each ingredient there is, trying to figure using these hints on the ratios, and then how many cups we need for one cake. So to start with, you can have them count. You can sort of ask them what do they need to know, how could they use the hints, and they can count the number of squares. So there are 24 yellow, 12 of pink and blue, 18 red, 10 orange, and 6 black, and 8 green. So then to start with, you can look at using these hints. So the first hint is that there is 2 spoons of oil to 8 of flour. So if you look at that, that ratio is 1 oil to 4 flour. And ask them how can they figure out what these ratios are. And then if you look at this, the only way 2 ingredients that have a 1 to 4 ratio is for the 4 being the biggest, which is yellow, and the 1 being the smallest. So oil is black, it's the smallest, and flour is yellow, it's the biggest. And that gives you the 4-to-1 ratio. For hint 2, it's going to be a simple dividing or ratios, or they can estimate, but if you divide, you get that there's 1.5 cups of sugar, and we'll come back to that for finding out how many cups of each ingredient we need. For number 3, if you do the bars, if you triple the applesauce, so if you have 3 applesauces, and if you double the milk, you end up with the same amount. So you end up with these 2 bars. So that tells you that there's a ratio of 3 of applesauce to 2 of milk. And then because there actually are 2 options that you can ask them to do, and you can see if they can get one, and then ask them if there's another one, or if that's all. But then the options that you can have are that the milk is red, and then the applesauce is either pink or blue. And then that's one option that you can have. Or the other option you can have with this 3-to-2 ratio is 12 to 8. So that is milk will be pink or blue. And then applesauce would be green. So then, ask them how to what these options are, ask them to do the comparison. And then so for number 4, there also are, since there are 2 colors with the same number, you can you will get 2 different options, but that's okay because we want to find the amount of ingredients. And then for the second one, the amount of water is 2/3 the amount of sugar. So if we have sugar here, then water will be 2/3 of that. So here is water. So then if we do the same sort of trying to make them whole numbers, we would have 3 waters to 2 sugars. So it's the same ratio as this. So we can have water is, so again, sugar could be red, and then water would be pink or yellow, or sorry, pink or blue. Or we could have sugar pink or blue, and then water would be green. Okay, so again, we sort of have two options from this. So then for the final hint, we have that one ingredient, the applesauce, is going to be 4/3, or sorry, 133%, which you can work out with the students is 4/3 will be applesauce. So then the key with this is that applesauce has a factor of 4 in it. And the other ingredient has a factor of 3 in it. So the only way that this can work, the only two numbers that have a factor of 4 are 12 and 8. But if you pick the 12, you end up with the other ingredient being 9, which is none of these. So that tells us the applesauce has to be green because since the 12 doesn't work, the only other multiple is 8. So green is applesauce. Okay, so then if green is applesauce, then milk has to be pink or blue. And then if milk is pink, this also tells us water can't be green. Since water can't be green, this isn't an option. So milk is pink or blue, and then water is pink or blue, and then sugar is red. So we've got that applesauce is red, or sorry, not red, green. That applesauce is green, sugar is red, and then we can just pick water being blue and milk being pink. And then the last ingredient left is the orange, which is the coca. So the coca is the orange. Okay, so then these are how you get the 7 ingredients. And then once you have the 1.5 cups of sugar for this, we can see that so let's see, the sugar was red. So 1.5 has the same ratio as 18. So then you can use that to figure out or you can use these other ratios to figure out what every other one is. So just maybe in the interests of time, you can just see the ingredients here. So you should have one cup of almond milk, 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, 1/2 cup of canola oil, 2/3 cup of applesauce, 1 cup of boiling water. So that is how you do this activity. So hope to see you all on Monday.